Let's talk to Associate Professor of Public Law at the River State University in Port Harcourt, Ritchard Wokocha. Thank you so much for joining us on the news this hour. In your view as a public law expert, what's the legal significance of this High Court adjourning the governor and deputy governor suit indefinitely, especially given that the lawmakers had already initiated the impeachment process?
Well, it's a judicial proceeding, and the court has taken the right position. By right position, I mean that when there is an appeal over a matter that the court is seized of, that court has responsibility to recognize that fact that there is an appeal. And as both parties indicated, appeal is challenging the jurisdiction of the court, and naturally, the court will have to await the outcome of that appeal, since it's an appeal made against this order. So the significance is that this matter is going to stay inactive until the Court of Appeal takes a position or takes a decision on the appeal that is filed before them.
How do you see this indefinite adjournment, as well as the pending decision of the Court of Appeal, reflect on the balance of power between the judiciary and the legislature in River State? Some have said perhaps the court's action is being seen as effectively delaying the legislature's constitutional function to check executive misconduct.
No, not really. The Constitution gives to each department of government specific responsibilities. Even while people look at what the Constitution says in Section 188, which is sub judice now, we cannot go into its details. But even while people look at what subsection 10 says, the court has responsibility under Section 46 to listen to any citizen who feels that his right is being infracted. And the Constitution gives the court the responsibility to hear that request and determine whether indeed that citizen's right is being infracted and to make necessary orders. So the court is acting within its jurisdiction, the responsibility bestowed on it by the Constitution, and the legislature is attempting to do what the Constitution also asks them to do. But their action must be constitutional for them to proceed. And it is the responsibility of the court to determine, based on what has been brought before it, whether they are acting constitutionally. If they are acting constitutionally, they will exercise all their rights as provided by the Constitution, and no court will stop them. But that determination has to be made whether they are acting constitutionally. And that's where the responsibility of the court comes in.
Prof, you teach and live in Port Harcourt. When you consider the ongoing impeachment moves and the legal wrangling, what are the potential implications for governance and political stability in the state? Could this prolonged uncertainty affect the functioning of the state government or even public confidence?
Certainly. As you are aware, River State has been mired in unnecessary crisis. And I say unnecessary crisis because it's not crisis arising out of the question of administration of the state. It's been crisis arising out of differences in political interests of political actors. And that has left the state in a very bad situation. The citizens in the state give the sigh of relief when the state of emergency was lifted. And we expected that the state would begin to see the significance of democracy and the actions of government. And so nobody expected what has just come up now. And nobody is happy. Citizens of the state and residents in the state are certainly not happy about the uncertainties that is brought in by these unnecessary political wranglings and disturbances. And so we are hoping, and citizens are hoping, judging from what I see among citizens, we are all hoping that this whole thing will go down and that the state will be able to enjoy democratic leadership the way the Constitution intended it to do.
You know, someone said it's a spiritual problem that every predecessor in Rivers has always fought, you know, every successor governor has always fought their predecessor. But I guess I'll raise that with the clergy, since you deal in academics and not in spiritual matters. Associate Professor, Public Law, River State University, Ritchard Wokocha, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Our problems are physical, not spiritual.